the best quality because I'm at the airport right now, really early because I'm waiting for my flight and it got delayed and my dad had work, so I got to the airport super early. But yeah, I was gonna film this on my Mac, but my computer told me the file is too big to upload, so I'm redoing it on my phone. Since I have time, I felt like I could do a honest review of my Spain trip with EF Ultimate Break. I apologize, the volume, I was trying to adjust the volume and I ended the video. But as I was saying, yeah, so I'll do a little, I know there's a lot of background noise, I apologize, but I wanted to do a quick video and share my thoughts on my Barcelona, Ibiza, Valencia trip with EF Ultimate Break. I did enjoy it. I felt like we had a lot of free time, probably the most free time I've ever had on a trip, and that was my 4th trip with EF Ultimate Break. Lots of excursions. Did the Park Güell in Barcelona, did a catamaran cruise in Ibiza, and in Valencia there was an optional paella making class that was offered to us, but there was too many of us that wanted to do it, so the venue didn't have enough spots, so we weren't able to do that. But that was offered, but we couldn't do it. And also in Barcelona there was an option for an excursion, kayaking in the ocean, not kayaking, sorry, paddleboarding in the ocean, and so that was fun. I did that. But there were some downsides. I felt like for it being an Ultimate Plus trip, I didn't think our accommodations were up to par with for being what we paid. In Barcelona, we stayed at the Hotel Catalonia, Park Güell, and I mean the hotel itself was nice, but kind of tiny. But it was really far from the city, so we had to either take a cab or we had to take the metro into the city, and so we spent a lot of money on cabs because the clubs and stuff at night were on the other side of town, so we had to take a cab to do that. And so yeah, so that was that. In Ibiza, our hotel was the Hotel Puchet. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And that was also on the other side of town, so we had to take cabs to get to the clubs and like the main restaurants on the other side of the beach. Sorry, I keep moving my phone. What else? Valencia, our hotel was nice, closer to the city than the others, but still not completely, totally in the city, so I had to take either the metro or well, not the metro, like the little trams that come by, or you had to take a taxi. And so I felt like for what we had paid for an Ultimate Plus trip, I did not feel like our accommodations were up to par with that. Ultimate Plus is obviously more expensive because you only have one roommate, but I wish our location had reflected that. But yeah, so that was my downsides, I feel like, of the trip. It still was a really good trip. You were able to do a lot. Your ticket, sorry, not ticket, but like your booking, if you wanted to do the excursions, so that added to the trip. I just felt like we spent so much money on cabs, and that would have been nicer for us to stay closer to the city. So I have something in my eyeball. But yeah, so those are my downsides to the trip. I do still recommend it just because you are able to see a lot of, you do get to hit 3 main parts of Spain. I also wish that there had been more time in Valencia because you technically only get 1 full day because your other day is half of it was spent traveling. We took a ferry from Ibiza to Valencia, and that was like a half-day thing. So a lot of us were tired afterwards. But yeah, so I wish that we'd had 1 more day, and I think that should be added. I think there should be 3 days in Valencia instead of 2. What else? A lot of walking. I mean, that's expected almost out of any EF trip. So just be prepared to bring money for cabs and stuff because you aren't near the city, like in, city limits. You're kind of, we were on the outskirts of Barcelona, definitely. If you want to party, this is the trip for you. Barcelona and Ibiza especially, they don't start going out till like 1, 2 in the morning. Clubs don't open. So if you want to party all night till 7, 6 in the morning, book this trip. I did, you know, do it. I did stay out that late, but that's not normally my cup of tea. But I did it because, you know, you kind of have to. You enjoy, like, you know, do the experience. You don't have to go out, but most of the group did go out. So if you want to party hard, this is a trip. And what else? Trying to think. Oh, also our demographic of our trip, this one specifically was a lot younger than most of my other EF trips. There was a lot of younger, like 18, 19, 20, 21 year olds on the trip. So I would keep that in mind. Take that as you will. And yeah, so definitely more party centered trip. But it is what you make it. You don't have to party and go out, but I will be honest and say that most of your group probably will, just because you're there, you know. And to enjoy it to the fullest either way. What else? Yeah, so was it my favorite EF trip I've been on? No. But I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad that I can say, you know, I went to Barcelona, Ibiza, and Valencia now. Overall, I would probably rate it a 7 out of 10. Just because location, I think that was the most important part. I felt like we should have been a lot closer for what we paid. And sorry, I keep moving my phone. But I feel like we should have been closer for what we paid, and yeah, that was my main concern, because I felt like Ultimate Plus, you pay a lot, and I felt like it wasn't reflected in our location. And, you know, I wanted to make this video because a lot of time ambassadors who go on trips are, you know, eager to say, because we're ambassadors for the company, oh, like everything's perfect about EF, you know, we're the best, and everything's perfect, nothing is wrong. And, you know, sometimes that's not true. And I feel like with this trip, our location should have been a lot better. And I had heard from another traveler in the group that this Ultimate Plus for Ibiza, Valencia, and Barcelona was kind of like we're guinea pigs. So, you know, maybe this will be worked on in the future, location-wise. And yeah, so I think that was just the main thing. I think a lot of other travelers shared that sentiment of the location not being close to things. But other than that, great trip. You do get to still see a lot. You have a lot of free time. Like I said earlier, probably the most free time I've ever had on a trip. You do have time to explore and stuff, but just keep in mind that location is not the greatest, so you will have to take cabs or the metro. And you do get a free, like, or 10 ride metro with your trip. So if you use that 10 more times, though, you do have to buy another one. So that is also important to note. Yeah, some tips for traveling right now with EF. This isn't EF's fault, but a lot of airlines are losing luggage. So I always recommend putting an AirTag or some type of tracking thing so you can see where your suitcase is, and packing as much as possible in a carry-on, so you will have that carry-on with you in case your luggage gets lost. Obviously, good walking shoes always. Sunscreen, of course. And yeah, I can't complain. I mean, you know, I do love EF. I'm obviously I'm in the airport right now, about to, you know, have my 5th trip with them, but location is really important, and I feel like that was kind of dismissed in this trip. But yeah, other than that said, if you want to book any of the other trips I've been on, or any other trip that EF Ultimate Break offers, which is a lot, over 65 trips, I will put my code and link in the description, and you can get $100 off your trip, which is a good amount. But yeah, so I will put that in the description. I'll put the hotels in the description if you want to book this trip. And I'll put the link for this trip also too in the description. If you always wanted to party in Ibiza, I would say this is a trip for you, because you have a lot of time to do that. Hit lots of popular clubs, bars, beach bars that, you know, are close to the beach. And yeah, so I still think it's a great trip. I just wish our location had been better. But yeah, that's my honest review of my Barcelona, Ibiza, Valencia trip with EF. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you have any questions, comment below. And yeah, have a good weekend. Bye guys.